Hey guys, how are you doing? Sorry, I'm a little bit later tonight. I saw somebody put as an excuse once, the day ran away with me. And unfortunately, that's what today's been. The day has run away with me. Hey Karen, glad you're here. I hope you guys have been having a good week so far. Yeah, I'm going to do some crafting with you tonight. I am, as many of you know, hey Heather, as many of you know, I'm going to Las Vegas next month. Hey Julie. I'm going for the Stampin' Up Leadership Conference, which is called Backstage. Very excited to be going. And I need to do swaps. So swaps are where you make, you design a card, you make lots of them that are the same, and then you give them out to other people and you get their one back in exchange. And so I would like to make my swap tonight. I've got a few ideas. Hey Shona. I've got a few ideas, and so I wanted to run them past you, get your input and get your thoughts. Hey Debbie. And yeah, hey Debbie, and hey to everybody. Please feel free to chat to each other. You guys are a community. We're all a group. Feel free to chat amongst yourselves in the chat. That's cool. Yeah, so I'm going to jump straight to it. Oh, actually, no, I'm not. Very quickly. There is a sale that is happening. It's finishing at 11 o'clock tonight. It's just a flash sale that's Stampin' Up only announced yesterday. And you get, there's a 15% discount off stamp sets out of the annual catalogue. So check it out if you haven't already. There's some really good bargains. Make sure you remember the clearance rack. There's a lot of good stuff on there as well. And if you use my hostess code, then you'll get an extra gift in the post from me at the end of the month. So I'm going to jump to the good stuff now. Actually, no, last thing. If you are doing the sale, remember that for every £45 you spend, you get a free voucher for £4.50 to spend next month. Last thing. Right, there we go. I have got something new to show you when I flip round, and I don't know if this is going to work, but hopefully you can see my desk and you can still see me. I don't know how I feel about this, but I'm going to try doing this in picture thing at the same. Ooh, that's weird. I'm holding up my right hand, but it's showing on the left hand side. It's flipped things around. Anyway, as long as it's still all visible when you look, yeah, it is showing the right way around. So we're going to give this a try. I'm going to have my picture in the corner. If it's getting in the way or getting embarrassing, or if you can't see properly, then let me know and I can take it down. But I thought it was worth a try. So, right. This is what I'm thinking for my swap. I'm thinking I'm going to use this stamp set here, partially because it's a stamp set which I love, but I haven't used yet. It's completely unused. My lovely husband Tom has been listing my retired stamp sets on eBay, which is a great thing, and a lot of them have sold. And for anybody who's watching who's bought one, thank you very much. They should all be out in the post. I do turn them around very quickly. But one of the things he's been noticing is that many of my stamp sets are unused by the time I get to selling them, and that's not a good thing for my husband to notice. So I am trying to make an active effort. When I buy the stuff, it's because I like it. Sometimes it retires before I've had a chance to properly play with it. So I'm trying to play with the stuff that I've bought because I loved it, and before it retires. And so this is one of the stamp sets that I really want to use. And it's this kind of starry, swirly, sparkle thing that I'm planning on using here. And then the other thing that I want to use are these dies. So this is the All That dies. And specifically these ones here. It's like a plaid or a tartan type effect dies. At least that's what I'm hoping for. And there's two of them, so I think that's going to make life easier when I come to cutting them. So let me start. I'll show you what I've got in mind first of all, and then if you think I need to adjust things as we go, then let me know. So I am starting with Night of Navy cardstock, and I thought, I had this plan in my head on how I was going to do this, but even as I'm describing it to you, I'm thinking maybe this isn't a good idea. I thought I would do a slimline card. So where's my book folder? My room's also a bit of a bomb site because I had a whole load of the team round at the weekend, which was lovely. But as you know, I'm not the tidiest of people, and so everything is kind of stuck behind the screen. But yeah, I thought I'd do a slimline card, which seemed like a good idea because the Americans use a different size of cards. Their card stock is different size. They don't use A4. They have letter size. And so I thought by using a slimline card, then that would appeal to most people. But I also need to put it in a cello envelope, and I'm not sure if the ones I've got will fit. I'm going to give this a try for just now, and then I thought I'd have a basic white layer on the top. I thought I'd have just like a 1/2 centimetre round. I don't think that's enough. What do you think? If I just put that down there, do you think that's enough of an edge, or it needs to be wider? I'm going to take another 1/2 centimetre off and try this. If you think it looks better with this way, then we'll keep going with this one. Yeah, I think it's better with the thicker at the top at the bottom. Let me know what you think. Do you like it like this, thick? Or did you prefer it before when it was just very thin? Because I can cut another piece. While you lot are advising me on whether it should be thick or thin on the layer, I'm going to start prepping these bits. I wanted to do something that was a bit Scottish, because you know what Americans are like. They just love, I love Scottish accent. So I thought I would try and do something that was a bit Scottish and play up to that side of things. So I thought I'd use these, wider, thicker, totally agree. I thought I'd use these elements here to cut out almost tartan type effects. And let me show you what I was thinking of. You can tell me if you think this would work. I was thinking of doing, at first I thought rainbow, and then I thought, because, rainbow. But then I thought I want to do something that's a bit more Celtic and the sort of colours that I go for. So I thought purples and blues would be the way to go. So if I lay these colours out for you, tell me what you think. Do you think I should go rainbow colour? Is that the best option? Or do you think going this sort of blues and purples? So I was thinking Night of Navy, Gorgeous Grape, Highland Heather, Azure Afternoon, and this is Balmy Blue. I'm just going to slice that down to get a bit. What do you think? Rainbow colour or a variety of blues? Your opinion, as always, as you know, is very important to me. And I very much value your advice and your input. But this is what I'm kind of thinking at the moment. It doesn't necessarily have to be in this order. I could move the order around a bit. But yeah, blues and purples, you're going with that as well, Karen. Glad to see we're on the same page. Now, when I'm using an intricate die, you know what I say, the easiest thing to do when using intricate dies is to use the adhesive sheets. And the trickiest bit about adhesive sheets is remembering to use them before you do your die cutting. So let's stick these down. I'm going to trim that to be roughly this size. More votes here for the blues and purples. Is it just me, or do blues and purples seem a very Scottish thing? I think they seem very Scottish. I know it's not limited just to us, but I think it works well. I'm just cutting these to be, now if I'm smart, I'll cut them all that size. So I'm doing it to about 4.5 centimetres, because that's the size that I need for the dies. If this design goes well, I'm going to be making quite a lot of these cards, so I'm not worrying too much about, oh, have I cut too much, have I cut too little. Oh, look at me, ripping stuff. Let's just get this stuck on. I can probably get, but that's the useful thing about having two of these dies. Yeah, I can get two on there at a time. How have you guys been finding the new colours? Have you been playing around with the colour combinations? Do you have any favourites in the new colours? Are there ones that you're glad are back? Let me know in the comments what you think about our latest colour refresh, and which ones are your go-to colours? What's your favourite colour to craft with? Or does it depend on the occasion? Does it depend on what you're making? I know I like bright colours if I'm doing birthday cards or celebration cards. I've had cause to do some sympathy cards recently, and I find that our regals works really well for that. Although regals can be really nice for Christmas cards too. It does very much vary on what the occasion is. Let's see. It's always the prep bits that takes the longest amount of time in doing these things, isn't it? But these adhesive sheets really do make it nice and easy. Depends on what you're making. Berry Burst, absolutely Shona. Berry Burst was a returning colour and I am loving it. I'm so glad it's back. Hey Ali, glad you're here. Bubble Bath, Boho Blue, Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. I'm glad that Misty Moonlight is back. Absolutely, Karen, I'm with you 100% on all of those. By the way, Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock, one of my favourite colour combinations. I have used those two colours together so many times and they really, really go well. In fact, Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock and Berry Burst, to pick Shona's one, they are all colours that just go so well together. They really do. Right, let's start die cutting. One of the things I am very fortunate about is that Tom on occasion does help me with my swap preparation, and he's very good at die cutting. He's good at optimizing the number of dies, the number of shapes that I can get out of a single pass. So I really am very grateful for his help and support. So I've got 2 dies, so I can do 2 colours. While I'm doing this, I'd love for you just to have a think about what order these colours should go in. Ooh, Heather, Lemon Lolly and Bubble Bath, absolutely. Lost Lagoon and Blueberry Bushel back, and Misty Moonlight, absolutely. There's some common themes coming through here. Ladies after my own heart. And gents as well, just a shout out for all the guys who are watching too. I know that there are a few. We had dinner with friends recently, and one of my good friends, Colin, he says that he watches me on YouTube. So if you're watching, Colin, hello. And again, to everybody else who watches on YouTube, because I know I see the comments on Facebook, but I don't see the comments on YouTube until afterwards. But if you're on YouTube, hello, lovely to see you. Sorry I don't interact as much on YouTube when I'm live, but I do try and respond to any comments or questions that I see afterwards. So, and if you want to join in the conversation, you're very welcome to join us here on Facebook. It just seems to be where most of the people come for the chat. Right, I'm thinking once I've cut these out, I was going to start with the darkest ones and gradually get lighter, but that means that I do navy and then purples and then back to blues again, and I'm deciding whether that's the best way round to do things. Maybe I should keep all the blues together and then do the purples. So what do you think? Darker to lighter, or just try it and see what looks best? We can have a play around. We're not gonna get it right first time. We're just gonna experiment, see what looks right. And you know what? If we need to throw in some extra colours, or if there's too many colours, then we can adjust it. You're very much my design advisors. I very much welcome your input. Right, let's pop that down to one side. Okay, trusty take a pick tool to the rescue. to help me poke out all of these. Come on. There we go. Dies. Actually, I'm really pleased with these dies because the elements just lifted right out, even with the adhesive sheets on the back. Sometimes when you put the adhesive sheets on, because it makes the whole piece a little bit thicker, sometimes you need to run it through twice in order to get the clear cut, but this has just worked really well. Of course, I spoke too soon now, that one doesn't want to come out. That'll teach me. There we go. So that's the... Is it balmy blue? It is balmy blue. I had a moment there thinking it was a different shade, but it's not. It's definitely balmy blue. Highland Heather, one of my favourite colours, as you know. Think to try it, Debbie. Yeah, I think you're right. Let's try it. Let's play around, see what looks right, see what we need to change. Yeah. You know, I think we're just going to leave those bits in for just now. That's disappointing after having said that it was all popping out so easily. Depends on the cardstock. Some of them are popping out, some of them aren't. I don't want to take off all the sticky off the back because then that'll impact how easily it is to play around with the positioning. So poke out the ones we can, leave the ones that won't come out. Then we can deal with that later. Has anybody checked out the sale, the 15% discount? I know there's a few people have told me already they've got some orders in, they've got some really good bargains. Don't forget the clearance rack. There's some really, really good bargains on there. So for example, the Scotty Dog punch, I believe, is down to like £4. So if you didn't get that when it was out, and if you didn't, why not? Because it was gorgeous. But there's some really good bargains on the clearance rack. So it's definitely one to check out and see if there's anything on there that you want to get that you can get at a good price. So you know me, it's all about getting good value for money, getting a good deal. And then of course getting through all of those lovely discount codes so that next month for everybody who's a demonstrator, remember we're getting to see sneak peeks of the new catalogue. The autumn winter catalogue comes out for demonstrators next month, and I'm very excited to see what might be coming. We were chatting about it at our team session at the weekend, chatting about what might be in the catalogue. Yeah, just exploring to see what our favourite Christmas themes are. Okay, now I was thinking to do these from dark to light. See if I just kind of, and then I was going to have them slightly overlapping. Let's, just now, let's say I did them in that order. Overlapping or no overlapping? They do look nice overlapping, but then they're... Right. As much as I like the slimline card, I'm just going to try it with a standard card blank as well. Because again, those are going to fit in my cello envelopes a lot easier. Let's just see. Just very much at the design stage. Nothing's set in stone. Yeah, because you see the width of that fits the width of this a bit better. I'd need to do more than 5 if I did a long card. But what I could do here... Right. I've got cogs turning around in my brain. That's what the clicking noise is. Let's just try. what about Argyle socks? Yeah, penguins and antlers. Oh, you got the penguin punch. Fabulous, Julie. Right, because you see, if I did it this kind of strip, because then that's the same size, you see? So that will fit on there nicely. But then if I put that straight on there, I think it looks too big. I could do it down the way, have it kind of along the bottom. Could do it portrait style rather than landscape, and we could cut that off. What about, ooh, right, just going to try this. What if we folded that in like that to have a card that looks like this, and then well, that's filling the whole space. I might not fill the whole space, just could fill part of it. Right, let's take another piece off. How big is that? That's 5. Let's take it to 4.5. Right, so if we did it like that, and then had it like this, like that, what do we think? Because what I had been thinking, because I was going to use this, and I was going to kind of use this starry one as the background behind the Argyle, but actually I'm wondering if it needs it, and then I do something in this layer. What do you think of this at the moment? If I punched that out and stuck it, I like poked out all the little bits and stuck it down. Do we like that? I kind of... And let me do the inside layer for this while you lot can tell me what you think. Let's see. Let's do it. 14 point. Got lots of votes for liking it. That bodes well. So if I have that layer that fits inside with a layer all the way round, and then this one, see, I don't want, if I've got a layer going round at the edge, do you see that? I would want to bring that down as well. So have that round the edge there. So let's take off 0.5 centimetre. So then that and that looks right. Okay. Oh, hey, Flora. Right, let's space these out the way that I want them. So I'm going to kind of put that there. And we like this order as well for the colours, do we? So it's kind of, oh no, I'm going to do that purple there, and then that blue, and then that blue. Right. What are your thoughts for the colour? I like it like that. Having the navy, the dark purple, the Highland heather, the azure, and then the... Yes, yes, I'm getting nods there. Right, let's give this a shot. Let's actually stick it down and see what it looks like, and then we can figure out what we're doing inside. Because I haven't figured out what I'm doing inside. I'm gonna have to put some stamping on it somewhere. You know, the clue in the name, Stampin' Up, it really should have something stamped on it. So, right, poke out all these little bits. If I peel off the backing, maybe all the little bits will come with it. Yep, that looks promising. Is this... even as I'm doing it, I'm thinking, Emma, is this insane? Is this too fiddly for something that you're going to want to make 50 of? going to be a lot of die cutting, and I foresee a lot of tiny little diamonds and chevrons and stuff all over the floor. Doing swaps is a bit like doing wedding invitations. You want to design something that looks pretty, but that you're not going to be crying at when you've made 100 of. My goal at the moment is to try and make 50. So 50 times 5 die cut pieces. It's quite a lot of die cut pieces. You like the colours. We approve of the colours light to dark. Good. And then what I'm doing is, at first I was thinking overlapping. See if I show this. I was going to just overlap that tiny little triangle, but actually I think if I overlap the 4 triangles, then they'll fit in the space much better. There we go. The other thing, when it comes to this design, because I'm going to a leadership event, it's with other Stampin' Up leaders. These are really talented demonstrators, and I feel a bit nervous sometimes because there's going to be some really big names there, some really successful demos who do this as a full-time job. I do this as a part-time gig. I have other gainful employment as well, and although I do run it as a business, I don't put as much into it as some of the other more successful demos. I'll be honest, I am a lot more relaxed about it. I have a team, but we're very relaxed as a team. We're not sales driven or pushy or anything like that. But I am going to be sharing my card designs with other very talented and very creative people, and I want to make sure that I do something that's true to my style, but that's also kind of good enough to be swapped for one of theirs, because I see people making beautiful things and I think, well, is my swap going to be good enough to share with? But I know that I'm using good quality products, and I've got you, my lovely design advisors, who are keeping me on the straight and narrow. Shaker cards, genius, Flora. That's absolute genius. Yes, absolutely. I can use all these little bits in shaker cards, and then they won't be all over the floor. Right. Let's take that tiny little bit. Right, what do we think? I like that. That works really well with the rainbow colours. Okay, so that's going to go on the front of my card. On there. And then I need to do something on the inside piece. Now, do I need any ribbon round here? I did pull out my rhinestone basic jewels. You know me, love a bit of bling. Do we think this needs bling on it? I was thinking maybe at each of these points, if I just did a diamante. I don't want to go over the top, but let's do diamantes, and then if you think it looks terrible, then tell me. I put it this right. Help me decide. Do I put it in the center of each of the 5 diamonds, or do I put it in the center like these crossover bits? If I do it in the crossover bits, I'm only doing 4. If I put it in the center, I'm doing 5. Do you see the difference there? What do you think? So 4, because I'm just doing them in these 4 diamonds, or 5 because I'm doing the center of each of the colors. What do you think? Oh, I don't know. I'm going to wait and see what you girls think. And guys, if there's any guys watching, but it's only girls talking, so that's why I'm saying girls. It does look like a Celtic design. The crossovers, you think just in the 4, Shona? Yeah. Because then it's kind of a less is more sort of effect. Let's 4. That's another vote for 4. Right, I'm going to do it. See what it looks like. These I can pull off if it hasn't worked. If I'm gentle. Yeah, more votes for 4. Has the added advantage if I'm doing 50 of them. Means that I only need a couple of packets worth of diamantes. Right, there you go. What do you think? Just those 4 in the centre. That looks nice. do that down. It does look like a Celtic design floor, and to be fair, this is what I'm going for, this sort of Scottish effect. And I just need to decide what I'm doing at the other side. Or, you know, as I say, we could do it, actually, could you do it that way and kind of have like a card that opens up? That could be interesting. Would it stand up like that? If I take these layers out, does a card stand up like that? No, not really. If I'm going to have it standing, it needs to go in this direction. Unless, kind of like that. I suppose it kind of stands. Do you think it works? So landscape, do it that way. Or portrait, do it that way. Just going to flick it around so it goes from darker to lighter. See if I prefer that. No, I think lighter to darker is the way to go. I do like this strip. I think this really works. I like the colours. I like the diamantes. It's just deciding how to put it together with the rest of the card. Portrait. Certainly 1 vote for portrait. Yeah. And then... what do I do on this bit here? I could have a strip of ribbon. I could have a strip of twine. I could have like these starry, see these, like the stars and sparkles? Have that coming down here. So kind of like a curl one way and then a curl the other way. Should we give that a try? More votes for portrait. I'm not going to stick this down yet until I've decided how I'm going to do it. Let's try this stamp, because I did pull this one out because I wanted to try it. I think it makes a good backgroundy kind of stamp. It's just deciding what to pull it together, how to pull this all together. If anybody is watching that's got their catalogue to hand and think, oh, do you know what? If Emma had this stamp set, that would look really cool on it. Feel free. I am open to suggestions and ideas. Right, I'm thinking if I do one about there, and then the other one about there, so they kind of have a swirl and then meet and cross in the middle. And then the question is, what colour do I do it in? So I pulled out the Night of Navy to match the card base, but I also think the smoky slate might look really nice as well. Kind of have that almost silvery effect, which would go nicely with that. I can do one of each. Do you know what? Why don't I stamp one of each on my grid paper for you to see? Ooh, hello stamp down the side with each colour stamped. Shona, you're a genius. Right. Change of plan. I do like this starry one, but I also like Shona's idea. And do it in the 5 colours that are there. Ah, I have the best design advisors ever. Right. Let's go find a hello stamp. One moment. Oh, you can watch me now. 2 seconds. Right, so when it comes to hello, I've got the hello from Happy Labels, which is quite a basic text. We've got the warm hello for Circle Sayings. Well, we've also got smile, which I think could be fun. So, warm hello. The warm hello would work, so would the smile. let's start with warm hello, and then we can, oh no, that's a thank you. Warm hello. Right, let's get a clear block. Do you know what? I'm going to get a slightly smaller clear block than the big ones I pulled out. 2 ticks. Even as I say that, putting it on the clear block is one idea, but do you know what would make so much more sense? Doing it on the Stamparatus. Because again, if I'm making 50 of these, I want it to be easy. I don't want to be so I could hand stamp 50 cards, but 5 stamps on each of 50 cards, I can see it being narrowed down to 10 cards very quickly. So let's just have a quick look. Let's position this the way I want it to be. Because if I did it this way, and if I stamped it down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, would that line up? Could I get it to line up? Because if you see each of my hinges to line up with these, if I placed it there, so it went there, there, it's not going to line up perfectly. But would it line up enough? No, this is for Stampin' Up leaders. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. So let's put that on there, and I'm going to start with the center one and then work my way out. But I am going to need to have my Stampin' Scrub to hand, which I thought I'd pulled out. There it is. There we go. Let's get some mist. Let's get this to hand. Smile would be nice. Ah, you see, I've just set up warm hello. Warm hello or smile. Let's do one warm hello, and then I can do one smile, and then we can see which one we prefer. To be fair, I could do a mix of both of them. There's nothing saying that I have to do it all the same. Now, I'm even using my foam pad for underneath stamping. When you're using photopolymer stamps, having the foam pad underneath really does help your stamping to come out really nice. Can you tell I'm nervous about this? And it's strange because everybody is so lovely. I mean, all of the Stampin' Up events that I've been to have just had really lovely people at them. And I know a lot of the American demos. I've networked with them online and chatted with them online. So getting to see them in person is going to be really exciting. Some of them have been to the UK or to Europe before. In fact, one of the $1 million achiever demos I met in Vienna. She was so lovely. Her name's Natalie, and I've bought her stamp set and the one that she got to design when she hit 1 million, and she's going to be there in Vegas as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing her and spending some time with her. Let's see. Thank you, Flora. That is very sweet of you. I do my best, but there are so many talented demos out there. But I suppose we've all got our different styles, haven't we? Let's see. Are these too close together? Do you think they should have been spaced out more? I've been trying to line them up with the die beside them, but now I'm not sure if they should have been better spaced. What do you think? So let's just place it on here where we would put it and slip that in there like that. So that's option 1, warm hello. Let's see if I kind of hold that down. Does it need a bit of ribbon or a bit of twine? I've got silver ribbon or twine or something that I could put on. I don't know. Think about that. But at the moment, that's warm hello. Let's try smile now. So we use the same stamp set here, circle sayings. This is fast becoming one of my go-tos. The happy birthday from this I've used so many times. The thank you I've used so many times. The smile, so my cards that are going out with all my customer orders this month, I'm using the smile, that middle one. It's the sentiment that goes in the middle of the cards. And they have been, I think they've been well received so far. In fact, I've had some lovely eBay feedback, people pleased with their purchases and saying that they really liked the cards that they received, which is always nice. I like it when people are happy. Let's see. Right. Start with the middle again. It's a bit, when you're spacing out stamps like this, my mum makes really gorgeous cakes, and when she ices cakes, I think it's a lot like when you do stamping on your cards. If you start at one side and go all the way along, your chances of running out of space or having too much space by the end is quite high. Whereas if you start in the middle and work your way out, you've got far better control over your spacing. And so things can end up being spaced a lot better, can end up looking a lot better. You see, already the smile has got bigger gaps in between them. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. I am welcome to hear you like that. Which one is it you like, Heather? I wasn't sure if it was the warm hello you liked or if it was the smile. To be honest, I'm liking them both. Trying to decide which one is going to be easiest to do. Easiest and fastest. Look at me being so organised and sorting swaps so much earlier. I am famous for being the person who finishes swaps in the car on the way to the event or at the airport. I have finished swaps in the London Underground and on railway platforms, hiding in bus shelters against torrential rain, and there's me sitting with punches and stamps and trying to glue things together to get them finished in time. So the fact that we're even a month away and I'm already at this stage, I feel very impressed and proud of myself. You can laugh all you like, but this is growth for me. This is definite improvement on my usual haphazardness. Smile looks better, but there's nothing wrong with the other one. But Heather's voting for the warm hello. Flora's voting for the smile. Do you know, I could do 50-50. I could do half of them one way and half of them the other way. Let's put the smile into the card blank and see what that looks like. I like them both. I think the smile is easier to stamp because I'm worried that some of these have got bigger gaps than the other, but they're both nice. I do like them both. Let me get the silver twine and ribbon because I think a bit of ribbon somewhere is gonna lift this. I think it just needs something else. One moment. Right, here are our options. We've got the silver trim from the Gold and Silver online exclusives, and then we've got the Simply Elegant trim, which is this thinner one here. So I was thinking, even just, let's just put that to one side. Actually, just along the center there. So what about if I used, let me just tie this loosely to see what that would look like. Just a little bit. I think, I don't know when to stop is one of my problems. You know this. Sometimes when it comes to adding bling, I go too far, or I think it needs more when I'm not sure. But let's say there was just to be, even just kind of cut off just that little bit of silver down the center. Is it not needed? Is it too much? I'm going to trim this off. Where's my scissors? There we go. Just that little bit of silver trim down the center. What do you think? Is it needed or is it not needed? And you like, a lot of people voting for the smile one here. Less is more. So does that mean take off the twine? Let me slip the twine off, show you it without. Not needed. That's it without the twine. Not needed, not needed. Right, you know what I like? I will go with the majority. Oh, she says, just having one quick look. What if there was just a bit of silver stuck down there? Tell me to stop. If I need to stop, then I'll stop. Just want to make sure that my swaps stand up to scrutiny from all these other demos. What do you think of that down the side there? A gem in one of the smiles. That's an interesting idea, Nadia. I think if I did it in one, I'd have to do it in all 5 of them. And I've already got 4 gems down the other side. But I'm not ruling that thought out. I do like that idea. What do we think about the silver ribbon down the right hand side? Too much? Not needed? Or does it finish it off? A small bow above the smiles. Ooh. I do like that idea. Yeah. Let's tie a little bow. Gem on the dot of the eye and the bottom smile. You see, Nadia, your idea is picking up traction here. Karen's coming in with that. That's a good idea. Let's tie this and do a little bow. Although already as I'm tying these little bows, thinking if I've got a 250 of these. But let's give it a try. See what it would look like. Some of the leaders that are going have been organising swaps. So the certain numbers of people per swap, and they've got very strict rules. It must be like this, it cannot be like that, it must have this number of layers and that number of embellishments. And I understand why, because if people have put a lot of effort into a complicated card and then they swap it for a card that doesn't have the same amount of effort, then some demos get a bit unhappy. But one of the swaps is even like, your cards must be this particular dimension. And as I said before, the Americans have different dimensions to us. So I find that a bit, it wasn't very inclusive, because there's a lot of European and Australian demos, South Pacific demos going to be there. What do we think? A small bow in the thin silver twine. Let's try that then. I'm open to suggestions. On top of the eye, not ribbon. Keep it simple, stupid. Yes, Nadia, that very much applies in this case. Yes. Let's try it with the silver twine. See what that looks like. Gems between smiles to mirror the other ones. Yeah, right. So there's the little bow at the top there. So the bow in the thin twine. Bow in the thin twine hasn't tied as nicely as the bow in the thicker ribbon. Not that it's wide ribbon, but you know what I mean. So we've got twine or ribbon. Let's take this off the Stampin' mat just so you can see it better against the background. So the smile with the twine, the smile with the ribbon. Bow at the bottom? No, bow goes at the top. Or no bow at all. Do you know what? I'm going to stick these down because I think we've decided that we do like this in portrait. I do like this where it's going. Not putting ribbon down the centre bit. So let's put this in place for just now. Making sure it's lined up perfectly. And then let's put this on the inside. Getting glue everywhere. Do you know what? The more I think about it, does it need a bow? Not sure it does. You just leave it as is. Just leave it like that. Doesn't need a bow. Oh dear. Right, let's have a vote on it. Does it need a bow? Yes or no? So give me a vote. Bow, either yes for bow or no for bow. Tell me what you think. And then if we say yes for bow, we can decide which of the two bows we prefer. But at the moment, that's it on its own. No bow, no bow. 2 votes for no bow, 3 votes for no. Yeah, I think we're doing no bows here, aren't we? Yeah. It looks as if it's unanimous. Right. So that's what we're going with. We've got the smile version and we've got the warm hello version. So I can cut more. I'll be cutting out an awful lot of these. And stamping a lot of these, but yeah, I think that's going to be my swap then. Either the smile or the warm hello, and I might do a variety of both. Let's just do some votes on that though. Let me know what you think is the best, warm hello or smile, because I can do half and half, but if you think one is better than the other, then I will go with the advice of my design advisors. I do like that. I'm really pleased with this. And it's handy that there are 2 dies in the set, which means that I'll be able to cut out 2 shapes at a time. And I foresee an awful lot of die cutting in my future. Pokey tool makes it so much easier to poke out all the little bits. What have we got votes here? Smile, smile, smile. Shona likes both. They both have their merits. I really do like the idea of the warm hello, especially because it's going to be in Vegas and it's going to be so hot. Have you seen some of the heat wave stuff that's going on over there at the moment? I'm going to melt. Honestly, I do not do well in extreme heat. So But smile, I've always got a smile. So, but I think the voting at the moment. Okay, so we've got some who like both and some who like smile. So I might do a mixture of both. But yeah, okay. That's my card for tonight. I can't believe it's already 20 to 9. We've kind of spent all of our time looking up all of this stuff. So I'm going to flick back very quickly to see you. So thank you for joining me this evening. Thank you so much for all your help in designing that card. Once I've got the whole stack of them together, I'll be sure to let you see how it's worked. And then, of course, once I come back from Vegas, I will have all of the swaps I've received in exchange that I'll be able to share with you. If you've got any feedback on how it felt with having the in-picture thing at the same time as you were seeing my hands, I'd love to know what you thought about that. Was it in the way? Was it annoying? Was it distracting? Was it interesting? Was it useful? Let me know, because I always like that. If someone else has those dies, I could borrow them and cut more at once. That's a really good point, Julie. Does anybody else have these dies? Where's the set so I can tell you which die set it is? It's here somewhere. Or I've swallowed them. Yeah, here we go. All That dies. So if any of my friends in the area have got the All That dies and would be happy to lend them to me, or even better, if somebody wants to sit and cut them all out in colours for me, I'd be more than happy to send you through the cardstock and the adhesive sheets. If you want to sit and cut them all out for me, I'm sure there could be a reward or recompense of some sort as well. But thank you everybody for watching. Ali didn't even notice it. That's fine, Ali. It was an experiment. We were just seeing how it worked. And it was okay seeing me in the corner, Shona. Thank you. It's good to know. Have a lovely evening, everybody. And I shall see you next week for more crafting. Take care. Bye.